Numbers 33. As Israel traveled from Egypt under the command of Moses and Aaron, Moses kept a list of the places they camped, just as the Lord had instructed. Here is the record of their journey. Israel left the Egyptian city of Ramesses on the 15th day of the first month. This was the day after the Lord had punished Egypt's gods by killing the firstborn sons in every Egyptian family. So while the Egyptians were burying the bodies, they watched the Israelites proudly leave their country. After the Israelites left Ramesses, they camped at Succoth, and from there they moved their camp to Etham on the edge of the desert. Then they turned back toward Pi-hahiroth, east of Baal-zephon, and camped near Migdol. They left Pi-hahiroth, crossed the Red Sea, then walked 3 days into the Etham desert and camped at Marah. Next, they camped at Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees. They left Elim and camped near the Red Sea, then turned east and camped along the western edge of the Sinai desert. From there, they went to Dophkah, Alush, and Rephidim, where they had no water. They left Rephidim and finally reached the Sinai desert. As Israel traveled from the Sinai desert to Kadesh in the Zin desert, they camped at Kibroth-hattaavah, Hazeroth, Rithmah, Rimmon-Perez, Libnah, Rissa, Kehelatha, Mount Shepher, Harada, Makheloth, Tahath, Tira, Mithkah, Hashmonah, Moseroth, Beni-Jaakan, Hor-Haggidgad, Jotbatha, Abrona, Ezion-Geber, and finally Kadesh. When they left Kadesh, they came to Mount Hor on the border of Edom. That's where the Lord commanded Aaron the priest to go to the top of the mountain. Aaron died there on the first day of the 5th month, 40 years after the Israelites left Egypt. He was 123 years old at the time. It was then that the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the southern desert of Canaan, heard that Israel was headed that way. The Israelites left Mount Hor and headed toward Moab. Along the way, they camped at Zalmonah, Punon, Oboth, Aya-Abarim in the territory of Moab, Dibon-Gad, Almon-Diblathaim, at a place near Mount Nebo in the Abarim Mountains, and finally in the lowlands of Moab across the Jordan River from Jericho. Their camp stretched from Beth-Jeshemoth to Acacia. While Israel was camped in the lowlands of Moab across the Jordan River from Jericho, the Lord told Moses to give the people of Israel this message.
When you cross the Jordan River and enter Canaan, you must force out the people living there. Destroy their idols and tear down their altars. Then settle in the land. I have given it to you as your own. I will show you how to divide the land among the tribes according to the number of clans in each one, so that the larger tribes will have more land than the smaller ones. If you don't force out all the people there, they will be like pointed sticks in your eyes and thorns in your back. They will always be trouble for you, and I will treat you as cruelly as I planned on treating them.
Numbers 34. The Lord told Moses to tell the people of Israel that their land in Canaan would have the following borders.
The southern border will be the Zin desert and the northwest part of Edom. This border will begin at the south end of the Dead Sea. It will go west from there, but will turn southward to include Scorpion Pass, the village of Zin, and the town of Kadesh Barnea. From there, the border will continue to Hazar Adar and on to Asmon. It will run along the Egyptian Gorge and end at the Mediterranean Sea. The western border will be the Mediterranean Sea. The northern border will begin at the Mediterranean, then continue eastward to Mount Hor. After that, it will run to Lebo-Hamath and across to Zedad, which is the northern edge of your land. From Zedad, the border will continue east to Ziphron and end at Hazar Enan. The eastern border will begin at Hazar Enan in the north, then run south to Shepham, and on down to Riblah on the east side of Ain. From there it will go south to the eastern hills of Lake Galilee, then follow the Jordan River down to the north end of the Dead Sea. The land within these 4 borders will belong to you.
Then Moses told the people,
You will receive the land inside these borders. It will be yours, but the Lord has commanded you to divide it among the 9.5 tribes. The tribes of Reuben, Gad, and East Manasseh have already been given their land across from Jericho, east of the Jordan River.
The Lord said to Moses,
Eleazar the priest and Joshua son of Nun will divide the land for the Israelites. 1 leader from each tribe will help them, and here is the list of their names.
Caleb son of Jephunneh from Judah, Shemuel son of Ammihud from Simeon, Elidad son of Chislon from Benjamin, Buckai son of Joglai from Dan, Hanael son of Ephod from Manasseh, Kemuel son of Shiftan from Ephraim, Elizaphan son of Parnak from Zebulun, Paltiel son of Azan from Issachar, Ahiud son of Shalomai from Asher, and Pedahel son of Ammihud from Naphtali.
These are the men the Lord commanded to help Eleazar and Joshua divide the land for the Israelites. Numbers 35. While the people of Israel were still camped in the lowlands of Moab across the Jordan River from Jericho, the Lord told Moses to say to them,
When you receive your tribal lands, you must give towns and pastures to the Levi tribe. That way the Levites will have towns to live in and pastures for their animals. The pasture around each of these towns must be in the shape of a square, with the town itself in the center. The pasture is to measure 3,000 feet on each side, with 1,500 feet of land outside each of the town walls. This will be the Levites' pasture land. 6 of the towns you give them will be safe towns, where a person who has accidentally killed someone can run for protection. But you will also give the Levites 42 other towns, so they will have a total of 48 towns with their surrounding pastures. Since the towns for the Levites must come from Israel's own tribal lands, the larger tribes will give more towns than the smaller ones.
The Lord then told Moses to tell the people of Israel,
After you have crossed the Jordan River and are settled in Canaan, choose safe towns where a person who has accidentally killed someone can run for protection. If the victim's relatives think it was murder, they might try to take revenge. Anyone accused of murder can run to one of these safe towns for protection and not be killed before a trial is held. There are to be 6 of these safe towns, 3 on each side of the Jordan River. They will be places of protection for anyone who lives in Israel and accidentally kills someone. Suppose you hit someone with a piece of iron or a large stone or a dangerous wooden tool. If that person dies, then you are a murderer and must be put to death by one of the victim's relatives. He will take revenge for his relative's death as soon as he finds you. Or suppose you get angry and kill someone by pushing or hitting or by throwing something. You are a murderer and must be put to death by one of the victim's relatives. But if you are not angry and accidentally kill someone in any of these ways, the townspeople must hold a trial and decide if you are guilty. If they decide that you are innocent, you will be protected from the victim's relative and sent to stay in one of the safe towns until the high priest dies. But if you ever leave the safe town and are killed by the victim's relative, he cannot be punished for killing you. You must stay inside the town until the high priest dies. Only then can you go back home. The community of Israel must always obey these laws. Death is the penalty for murder, but no one accused of murder can be put to death unless there are at least 2 witnesses to the crime. You cannot give someone money to escape the death penalty. You must pay with your own life. And if you have been proven innocent of murder and are living in a safe town, you cannot pay to go back home. You must stay there until the high priest dies.
I, the Lord, live among you people of Israel, so your land must be kept pure. But when a murder takes place, blood pollutes the land and it becomes unclean. If that happens, the murderer must be put to death, so the land will be clean again. Keep murder out of Israel.
Numbers 36. One day the family leaders from the Gilead clan of the Manasseh tribe went to Moses and the other family leaders of Israel and said,
Sir, the Lord has said that he will show what land each tribe will receive as their own. And the Lord has commanded you to give the daughters of our relatives Zelophehad the land that he would have received. But if they marry men from other tribes of Israel, the land they receive will become part of that tribe's inheritance and will no longer belong to us. Even when land is returned to its original owner in the year of celebrations, we will not get back Zelophehad's land. It will belong to the tribe into which his daughters married.
So Moses told the people that the Lord had said,
These men from the Manasseh tribe are right. I will allow Zelophehad's daughters to marry anyone, as long as those men belong to one of the clans of the Manasseh tribe. Tribal land must not be given to another tribe. It will remain the property of the tribe that received it. In the future, any daughter who inherits land must marry someone from her own tribe. Israel's tribal land is never to be passed from one tribe to another.
Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, obeyed the Lord and married their uncle's sons and remained part of the Manasseh tribe. So their land stayed in their father's clan. These are the laws that the Lord gave to Moses and the Israelites while they were camped in the lowlands of Moab across the Jordan River from Jericho.